What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on our Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. But today, it is a Thursday. We're going to be looking ahead and talking about the Super Bowl a little bit more in depth. We want to dissect one team in particular in the New England Patriots, but maybe not exactly what you're thinking, the reason why. But then as we get to closer, we're going to do these weird, exotic prop bets. And today, we're looking at the Gatorade. We're trying to figure out a couple things about it. How can we target the Gatorade, the pouring of the Gatorade, the color of the Gatorade, so much surrounding it. We're going to get into all that, plus our two plays we have today. Seabass isn't here with us just yet to talk Traitors, but later we hope that he'll have a chance to join us. But it is Robbie and I. We are big Traitors fans. Well, Robbie is now officially, but yes, we're big Traitors fans. We're going to get into what exactly happened last week. Before we get there, let's take a look back at how we did yesterday. And yes, Flyers, Blue Jackets, they go over. But me, Cam Spencer, I was feeling good at halftime. 5 assists at halftime. He usually plays better in the second half and then end it with 5. Yeah, the Grizzlies sucked. And so Cam Spencer was not the reason they sucked, but he was the guy who took all the blame because for me, I was mad at him only. But let's go ahead and bring the guy in that I'm not mad at. And it is Robbie Hockey. What up, man?
What's up, man? It feels good to be back. Had to go to Nashville yesterday, which was driving from Clarksville to Nashville. It was, you haven't seen rage, like ice flying off people's cars. I was literally playing Mario Kart out there, man. It was crazy, but yeah, happy to be back. Happy to talk some Traitors and some Super Bowl props with you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all the stuff surrounding Traitors, which, to give a little bit of a preface on that, this is supposed to be the craziest, I guess, Traitors episode ever. And I see Miss Kim has this. Tonight's Traitors going to be insane because Alan Cumming, who the guy, the host of the show, said the banquet gets chaotic and said it is to be carnage with good frocks. I don't even know what frocks means, but are you excited about tonight's episode that we get to watch?
I am. Somehow that interview popped up on one of my feeds, so I watched it and I was like, oh, that sounds good. And it looked like maybe somebody might get into a little scuffle on the show, so I'm always down to see some fighting, especially on some reality TV. But yeah, I'm excited for Traitors tonight.
Well, hopefully our behind the scenes guy knows a little bit more information. Sometimes he knows, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he knows but won't tell us. We got to figure out all of that. But thank you all for joining us here. I see everybody is hanging out and already chatting it up and talking about a hat trick yesterday. Margot, actually, both kids chose Travis because of Travis Kelce. Let's just be honest here. But my oldest, Penelope, did not want to have anything to do with her little sister picking the same person. So she adjusted and wrong. But in the end of the day, Margot is the true winner with the hat trick pick herself. And I think no thanks to the stupid 8-ball, but I think I picked Brady Kachuk, and I know he hit a goal. So at this point, I'm feeling good. I'm smarter than the stupid 8-ball. So I like it. All right, well, let's get into what we're talking about because it is Super Bowl week and it is about the Patriots a little bit more. But you've brought up something very interesting, and I want to share that or have you share that with everybody about their schedule and exactly how easy or maybe something that stuck out for you.
Yeah, so I know you can't control who you play. Well, I guess you can. If you finish first, you're going to have a harder schedule the following year. Right. But there was 11 games on their schedule where the head coach has now been fired. 11. The other games were the Jets in the NFC South. So it's not been the toughest schedule for the Patriots. And I know it's the Super Bowl. I know New England's been there a bunch of times. But for me, honestly, it seems like Seattle should handle business. They beat LA twice, which to me, LA was one of the best teams in the league all year. And for Seattle to beat them twice, I'm not a big money line or spread guy, but I would heavily bet Seattle in this game.
Really? See, I am on the opposite side because I think that we see that New England has played, an easier schedule here and there. There's a reason those coaches are all fired is because, New England honestly played well and they held serve the whole year, but they played against a lot of these tougher defenses compared to a Seattle team, even though they are kind of finding their they're finding their footing a little bit more. But in my opinion, I think that New England can hold in this game enough defensively. And I think because they're going to go against the easier defense, in my opinion, I think it's New England's to lose. And I think the wrong team's favored. But I get why Seattle's favored. But still, it doesn't make sense why all those coaches get fired. Is it because of New England, or is it because they just suck that bad?
I don't know. I think you should have added the Jets to that list because they're having a fire sale right now with all of their coordinators they're letting go of. And I think they should just start at the top. Aaron Glenn's a great defensive coordinator. I'm not so certain about a head coach, and his days are numbered, I would imagine, in New York, which it's the Jets. They suck.
Right. Yeah, the Jets do suck. One guy who we haven't seen eye to eye, but me and Joe, too much is being made of the schedule. I agree, Joe. Joe's on my side. I do see some slander coming out, though, in the chat. I don't get it. It is Mark on the other side. So maybe we just change the login code going forward, and maybe he's not going to be on the Friday show tomorrow. But speaking of the Friday show, got a little something up my sleeve, and I just want to go, well, you know what? We'll put it out there now. We're going to have a new segment. So speaking of Joe, we know Joe loves split decision. But what will be the new name of our new segment, Robbie?
It's going to be Snap Decision. And
All
it's
right,
a little different than before, but I like Snap Decision a lot better than Split Decision.
So split decision made it where we had to have each guy on one side or the other. They have to decide. They have to honestly give an argument for that side. We'll bring that back. Don't worry. We'll bring back split decision. But snap decision is going to be a little bit of a play on name that tune. And unfortunately, we don't have enough money for all the copyrights of all the songs ever. But what we're going to do is make them name a certain amount of whatever it is. It's like, I don't want to give anything away, but if it was a Hall of Famers, can you name this many Hall of Famers in this many seconds? And so they're going to get to go head to head live on the show. And it's going to be a category. So the guys get to choose from 5 categories, one of each, whatever. And they're going to be 3 total rounds. So they can choose one. If they like the NHL and they feel good, they need a win, well, go ahead and pick the NHL, and I'll have the actual question. But they only get to choose one category throughout the show. And then there's also a mystery category that'll be double bonus points. And so at that point, maybe they're behind and they need to go for the mystery category. So a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun with it. Hopefully you'll be able to play along with us, but it'll be definitely a good time. And we all know that Mark's going to lose snap decision, just like he lost split decision. But let's go ahead and go.
I'm not getting overconfident on that. I think it's a lot different when you're hanging out and you're just talking stats and talking ish with each other. But when you got a timer and you're on camera, it makes it a little bit different. So I'm not going to come into this too overconfident.
No, and it will be tough because I put up a few questions already, or a few of the categories, and I see them and I'm like, man, I wouldn't know it, but I do know because I researched it, but y'all will have no idea which way we're going. So there's no way to research it. So it'll be interesting. It'll be fun. And I just got to figure out how in the world I'm going to keep track of this, because those 15, 20, 25 seconds is going to be quick. And so we'll see how it goes. But let's go to a lot of the exotics that we're talking, and we're talking Gatorade today. So let's go ahead and go over the first one. It's the color of the Gatorade. And I saw somebody put in, I did not put in clear or anything like that. I want to choose a color. So we're going to choose off of these colors: orange plus 200, purple plus 260, lime because of the Seahawks, in a sense, plus 275, and then blue because of the Patriots. I thought that might be, a fitting color, plus 400. If you had to choose, which one of these would you go with?
I'm going purple. I don't have any thought out for this. I'm just picking purple. I'm trying to think what color most people drink the most. And all I can remember is when I played sports, it seemed like purple was a favorite among us in high school and throughout college. So I'm picking purple for that reason.
All right. I like the thinking because it is one of the better ones. It's the purple one. I think it's going to be blue. And the reason I'm choosing blue is because both teams have blue in them, even though it's a darker blue than the actual blue. But blue is a flavor that people love as well. And so I'm thinking maybe blue might, especially at plus 400 when both teams have blue. I don't know. I don't understand why this would be so high. And I know Helen's son Calvo. Tell Miss Helen, your mom, we said hello. But yes, blue, brown Gatorade. That can't be true. That can't be a real thing.
Only in Cleveland.
So the color would also determine your pick, unless I chose blue. And Joe says, "Don't ever bet the color purple." But Miss Kim does love your purple. But white's the bomb. I hate white. I hate the white cherry. Do you like the white one?
I don't mind the white one. I'm not a fan of lime. It's never been a favorite of mine. I like orange because I have a lot of like mango pre-workout that I use. So it actually goes really well with that. So orange would be my favorite if I had to pick.
It always comes back to pre-workout. Oh my God. All right. Let's go to this next one. Position to pour the Gatorade. All right. You have the defense at minus 130, offense at plus 120. But maybe there's enough people grabbing it, and there are both the offense and defensive players there for plus 525. Which way would you go?
So if we're going New England, I'm going offense. I don't know how we're doing this segment, but if it's New England, I'm going offense, and I'm predicting Stephon Diggs because him and Vrabel are really tight. If we're going Seattle, I'm going defense because of how dominant the defense has been and looked lately. I think it'd be defense. Sam Darnold, you're not going to be able to get him to be putting Gatorade anywhere because if they're winning or they win, he's going to be too hounded by everybody else. So give me the defense for Seattle, offense for New England.
So you're literally like going with the team and a player here. There is not much thought into this. The only thought is like, because it could be a turnover on downs, victory. So at that point, the offense is on the field. Defense would be the ones pouring it on. But I'm curious about the other positions like special teams. I'm curious if there are players that might be doing that. But usually the bigger players are defense. I think defense, no matter what, you have a victory. Because if not, the other team's offense is on the field, and I don't see that happening. I think defense would be the one. I would actually pay the juice here, minus 130 here to go with the defensive side. Rick Funcannon coming in with a little. It better go ahead and do the coin toss. I agree. We did the coin toss yesterday in detail, to which we did find out that America's team holds the record for the most calling of the coin the right way, and it's I guess tails more than often than not. But do you feel confident as a Cowboys fan that we actually have some kind of Super Bowl record?
I'm glad we're having something positive said about us as of late because it's not been too positive lately. I am glad that JSN has a Dallas tattoo, and I think somebody said at least we'll be represented at some point in this Super Bowl. So thank you for JSN for that.
That's the only chance the Cowboys have a shot of being on TV while the Super Bowl is playing. Unless Jerry pays for a commercial for the Cowboys. All right, let's go to this one. And I thought this one was interesting. The Gatorade to be poured on the winning coach before the end of the game. So before the clock hits 0, yes, would be there at minus 170. But after it hits 0, no, plus 130. Which way would you go?
I would drink the juice and say yes, because Seattle's head coach is going to have it poured on him with about 2 or 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Interesting.
They're going to be up enough. They're going to be up. It's going to be signed, sealed, and delivered Seahawks Super Bowl.
But have you ever seen where they're like the coach takes off the headset, hands it to somebody, and takes like 1 or 2 steps out? At that point, they're grabbing, they're chasing after him, and he's walking on the field with like 3 seconds to go, and then like 3 seconds expires, 0's on the clock, and they finally get to him and then dump it on his head. I think that's how this all plays out, whoever wins. So because of that, I don't think it happens while they're doing the victory formation. I think it's after. So I'm going to go with no at plus 130. I think that's a possibility. So big fan of the plus 130 there. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I think we're in the right space. I don't know. We'll see.
Depends on who. I mean, you like the Patriots, so I could definitely see that if it's a Patriots victory. But with me being heavy on Seattle, I think that's the way it's going to go.
All right. Well, we'll continue this as we go. But I do know that we're gonna get Seabass for talking Traitors, but we're gonna give you our picks first. But you might get Seabass still.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors: original, hot, and no salt. That's going to turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Yeah, speaking of guaranteed greatness, that's what we're going to see tonight. As Patrick Kane needs one more point to have the most points by an American-born citizen in the NHL. He should pass Mike Modano's record of 1,374 career points. He's going for 1,375 tonight, facing a Washington team who he's had really good history against. He has a point in 9 of his last 10 against them. The one game he missed, it was actually a back-to-back. They played Washington, then they played them again, so I'm not going to hate on him for that. But with this record being this close to grabbing, it's in Detroit tonight. You're going to be facing a Washington backup goalie. I'm not confirmed on who's in net, but I know Logan Thompson will not be in net. So give me Patty Kane to get 1+ point at -115 and grab the record tonight.
The American Patrick Kane. We're going to go with my pick here at Thunder at the Timberwolves. This is a first half under a -115. Sorry, under 115.5 at -114. I was looking at these games, and the 2 games just this season where they actually were playing each other is the main thing that stuck out to me, because the 2 games were first half total points were 88 and the second game was 99. They're so far under when they play each other because it's very good defense. It's all locked in. And then the second half blows up to where they're scoring 60+ points each. So the first halves are a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow. And in all honesty, we're looking at the side of the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are under 7 out of the last 10. Same thing, 6 out of the last 10 for the Minnesota, just in their other games without playing each other. I think this goes under. The model likes this as well to go under the 115.5. So we're going to go ahead and cash this one for us. All right. It's that time. And guess we might have somebody with us. We just might. Let's see if he's available. Seabass.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's good, man. It's good.
Good. Yeah.
I did hear today, because I did tell Robbie that you weren't going to be on the show with us because you didn't think you'd be able to. And he said, what was your quote exactly about the unicorn?
I said getting Seabass and I on the same show together is a unicorn because it never happens. I'm either out or something happens and he's never here. So we did get on Spaces last Thursday, though. So we kind of made up for it there.
We did. And I'm here today. So we made it happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's talk some Traitors. And you know what time it is. It's that TV. All right, let's talk Traitors. And Seabass, I'll start with you because obviously you know this a little bit more in depth than we do. And so before we get to looking at tonight's episode, because obviously it's going to be a good one, I do want to hit on that one. Let's take a look back at how it was. I don't know. You said you weren't as big of a fan of Ron, correct?
Yeah, well, so I just thought Ron was like a downer. Like he was just so distraught. Now, granted, watching the show and then after he was banished at that round table, some more information about Ron came out and autism. And apparently there was some behind the scenes stuff that happened. And this is the thing about reality TV that a lot of fans just don't get. You know, we're in a day and age where everybody takes it too far on the internet, myself included at times, without knowing the full story. You look at these reality shows where, you know, they're filming. In the case of Traitors, I think they filmed every single day to get this done within the time frame that they had. And the show's an hour long. We know there's 24 hours in a day. They do get some time to sleep, of course, but there's so much footage that just never makes it to the show. And you're basing your whole entire opinion on somebody, you know, on the show, outside of the show, in life, on these few moments that we see them. And I get it. I do it too. We see what we're seeing and we go there, but some people just end up taking it too far. And it's crazy. It's meant for entertainment purposes. But yeah, I thought Ron was going. I just felt his energy in the house. But again, you don't know everything until you know.
Yeah, and that's the same way. Like we see, I know me and Rob are big fans of Survivor as well, and we always talk about like the edit, and everybody after the show is like, "Hey, I got a bad edit," and so I'm guessing in this factor, Ron got a bad edit, Rob, and so do you? I know you came around on liking Ron, but were you sad to finally see him go?
I was, and then he actually has had a stand-up since the show that's actually really good. He talks about, how they put him in this house with all these crazy people, and it was just doing a lot on his mental. But I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was really funny. I think he just had a bad deal. He picked the wrong one, and Portia got sent home. Yeah, I think it was the first episode, and ever since then, it was like he had a target on his back. And it was just like, man, he made a mistake. I mean, Colton's made 100 mistakes, and they're not giving him near as much grief as they gave Ron.
I thought Ron had a great round table. I don't know how after that round table, I don't know how you send him home. Like I thought it was crazy. I thought he did the best that he could at that round table. Like when he started going around, giving everybody their accolades and why he liked them and what he thought of. I mean, I was like, how do you send that guy home? You can't send that guy home. And yeah, it gets tough in that situation. But to talk about the edit, you get a lot of people who do cry, oh, the edit. And, I was one of those people that early on, I was like, listen, if you don't act that way, they're not going to show it. But then what you don't realize is it literally like, I'll tell you, because I didn't have a contract because I wasn't a paid cast member. I was, an extra, so to speak. So I got a release statement and it literally says in there, we can edit the show to fit the storyline that we're trying to produce. So, they get all this footage and you got these editors who are really, really good at their job trying to create a story that's cohesive and makes sense throughout all these episodes. And sometimes you get the raw end of the deal.
Yeah. And let's speaking of Ron on that, I believe it might have been your wife who would not get off of sending Ron home. Does she feel bad about that now?
No, I don't think she feels bad. Ron has said in his post interviews has had very nice things to say about her. But I think from a trader standpoint, I think it was great for her because she was very consistent. Her reasons never, the last two roundtables, like Ron, the same reasons. I'm sorry. Right? I mean, she would stay consistent throughout it. Unlike all these other people, it's like they have a plan. I thought Johnny Weir had a great idea. We've got 8 people. We can control the roundtable. And we can make the decisions as faithfuls, which that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find the traitors. And then they get to the round table and everybody switches up because Colton. Everybody's decided, let's listen to Colton now because he's been a beacon of truth and hope and light. Like, that guy's so dead on with everything. He's as bad as Ron. He might be worse.
He is worse.
He's worse.
He's so loud about it. Ron was just like, this is what Portia said, blah, blah, blah. That's where I'm going. All over the place. Oh, we got to do this. And then these little games that he plays and Colton.
Yeah. Colton's definitely been on the bad list of most fans, especially as of late. But I think everybody's coming around and understanding of who that dude is. And I don't think he's well liked for the most part. But we'll kind of set him off to the side, except for if you want to talk trash. And we're welcome to talk trash about it.
I'll do it on Twitter tonight.
Steve Bass, I know you had one, and it could not happen. It could happen depending on if you're able to, right? But I know that if people are following you on I guess it was on X, on Twitter.
Yes.
In the spaces, and I know Rob hopped up there last time and was able to talk a little bit. When do you plan on doing that if you were to do it?
I think I'm going to try and do it tonight again, only not as late. So last week I was actually watching it at the restaurant with some people that work at the restaurant who are fans of the show. So we all watched it together. And then by the time I got home, I was like, let's do it. And it was a little bit late. So I think I'm gonna try and do it tonight after the show. I do like to watch, the podcast with Bob and Rob, Boston Rob and Bob the Drag Queen. But I think I want to put that later because I find myself middle of the week like, man, I have 3 more days till I can watch this again, and I miss. That's why I say the podcast, I think, for the week. So maybe we'll do it right after tonight. I know there's a couple people that do them, but I think I'm going to do it tonight.
All right, so go ahead and follow Seabass. What's your at?
Seabass at 33, I believe. Hold on, please. I don't even know.
No.
I'll tell you right now. It's Seabass at 33.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Follow Seabass 33. I don't think it's Seabass at 33, but Seabass 33. You've had to be exact.
Bassett, the whole last name.
Oh, Bassett.
Yeah, Seabass 33.
All right, let's talk about the Traitors real quick, Rob, and let's go through. Obviously, there is the other Rob, and then Lisa and Candace. Do you think they're playing a good game cohesively together as of right now?
I think they were until Rob threw Lisa's name out there last week, and I mean, like me and Seabass said on the spaces, I can kind of see where he's coming from. He's looking out for himself. It takes the target off his back if he does that. But at the same time, man, you've definitely put her in jeopardy. And then it's just going to be him and Candace if she goes. So, and then how much does Candace trust Rob after that as well? I know he got scalded pretty good from what I've heard from Lisa right after that happened.
Yeah.
I see it. Personal gameplay, I can see it. Overall gameplay, if you're trying to stick with the Traitors, it was not a smart move.
I agree because like at some point, right, they can't all win. Somebody's got to win. Right. But I think it was too early to make that move. I feel like you just wait because there's still a lot of people and there's a lot of heat on Ron and a lot of heat on Colton. And I know that, you said, oh, man, if I vote them out, they're going to see it, whatever. But if they're going, they're going. They're going to see it anyway. They don't have to worry about it. They're gone. Yeah. And now if Lisa doesn't go, and you've made that, well, now you got 2 Traitors against 1 still, right? So you're banking on her going. And so I think it's a risky move at that moment in time.
Well, if you look around, Rob, on both sides, neither one voted Lisa. And so I guarantee what he was thinking is like, I would assume he could do a throwaway vote on her and just kind of ask for forgiveness later and say, hey, I knew you weren't going. I looked around. I didn't see anybody. I don't know if he can say that on actual film or not, but that could be the reason that he chose to do that. But I'm not sure that I would have done that just yet. I probably would have went with Ron, just said, hey, I've heard it. And I had finally, went over to that side because you felt like it was Ron's time.
Yeah. He got too personal with Ron. Yeah. Him and Ron had some deep conversations and he took himself out of the game and made it personal, which you cannot do on a show like that. You just got to stick to the game. You say, sorry, brother, I'm still going to pick you because that's what I've been doing and go for it. I mean, it's a game. Like if you're going to be that mad at somebody,
we'll play chess later.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's where it has to end up. But let's go ahead and move on because Ron's gone now tonight. And Seabass, I'm going to come to you first on this one because I don't know if there is any inside information, anything that you can share about maybe not details, right? But do we know if this is actually legit a crazy episode? I don't know if Candace has shared like, hey, it actually does get really crazy. It could be there could be some madness involved or, we don't know much at all, but supposedly that's what was said.
Yeah. So she didn't tell me anything about this banquet when she got home from filming. And then, so like most people, I've heard Alan and seen clips of how this is like the greatest part of the season or like the epic episode to date or whatever the terms that they were using. And so I asked her and she was like, no, it's going to be good. It's going to be really good. But of course, she won't tell me anything. Right. But from what I gather and what I hear, and she kind of did not necessarily come right out and say yes, but some, intuitive clues that I was able to pick up. I think we're going to hear some stuff out of Tara finally. Tara Lipinski tonight.
Oh, wow. She talked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
That's what I'm gathering because I'm literally on Twitter on it. I'm watching all the Traitors reels and the clips I'm trying to get because she won't give me anything. And somebody said maybe it was an interview or something that Tara finally spoke up and has a moment. And I'm like, Tara, she say something? She's like, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Just you got to watch. And I'm like, you give me nothing. It's terrible.
Probably safer.
Like all the inside. I got nothing.
Safer to not get in trouble for sure.
Yes.
Rob, how do you feel about Tara maybe finally saying something? If Seabass is right.
Right. Yeah. What are they putting her drink to get her to talk tonight is what I'm wondering. My biggest thing is who touches Lisa's brooch? Who does she approach to touch the brooch so they can do a kill in plain sight? That's the biggest thing. I think we talked about it last week, but I've slept since then. I was thinking she may target Johnny because it might be one of those things, look at this. If he touches it, I would target Natalie from the old Survivor days because she's a gamer. I would go up to her and be like, can you adjust this? Is this adjusted correctly? Make it not obvious at all. I would just do something like that. I feel like this is off. Have her fix it. But I would target Natalie because I think she's going to start catching on pretty quick.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, while Colton would probably be one to go up there and be like, oh, my God, it's so nice and touch it and whatever. I feel like if she goes to Colton, that's too obvious as well. Like you're trying, and I think she's got to take her heat off of Colton a little bit, I think.
Well, and I'm going to ask, I guess go right back to you, Seabass. Like if somebody that you like and you do not want to touch the brooch, let's say Lisa is close with Dorinda, and I'm not a big fan of Dorinda. Obviously most of the housewives, they're fine. They're kind of annoying. Your wife, I don't know. I've never watched any of her stuff. So I'm seeing her for the first time ever, and I love her. So that's good. But I would say, like, let's say that you are Lisa and Dorinda's coming up and like she notices this brooch and she's like, oh my God, I like that. And you're like, all right, she's coming in. Like, how do you keep her from touching it? Because most women are like, I love that. It looks at it. I'm like, no.
So I think as a trader, I think, whether you like him or not, I don't know that Lisa has any strong alliances other than Candace and Rob. I think to keep your cover, I think you just go for it. I think you just let him do it. And I think it gives you a little bit more cover, especially if it's a Dorinda, right? Another housewife and murder in plain sight. They're like, oh, well, Lisa wouldn't murder a housewife in plain sight. So now you got two housewives gone with two housewives as traders. Like housewives would be like, oh my gosh, we're being targeted again. So I think it's actually a good move if I was in her position. I think we're getting down to it where we're almost halfway through. You got to start thinking about the money at this point.
Yeah. Rob?
Line placement. Figure out, how they're getting to this event. Figure out where everybody's trying to sit. I would start positioning myself to who I wanted to get out and try to get in line with them. If she got in line with Natalie, it may seem too weird because I haven't seen them really communicate as much. But somebody like Johnny, if you're trying to get him out, that would be somebody that I would try to get close up to and sit next to him. That would be the only way I would try to strategize that would be line placement. And I don't know how they all arrive. I don't know when they arrive, but that would be
I'm not
try to pick
how
my
that
poison.
works either. So,
all right, we'll get our predictions in. All right, Seabass, you're going to go first. Who do you think touches the brooch and goes home tonight?
Okay, so I'm trying to think. Tara, Johnny, Steven. Nobody said anything about Steven, but I don't think he's one to touch a brooch. Like he's not going to be like, oh, what you got there?
Right.
Yeah,
man, I think it's a woman, in my opinion. I would think.
Yeah, I like. I hadn't thought about it. I like where Rob's going, so I'm not gonna steal his answer because that would be too easy to do. I'm gonna go with Lisa trying to be too obvious, and I'm gonna say Colton.
Okay, Rob.
I'm gonna go Johnny. I think it makes more sense for Johnny.
Take Natalie.
Yeah, take Natalie. You can have Natalie. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of along the lines of who actually is going to touch it. I would target Natalie, but I don't think she's that smart enough to see that she's a threat.
True.
I don't think she knows enough about Natalie to do that. But you're talking about Steven. If I'm on the show and I am a faithful, I would be more worried about him because of how quiet he's been. You don't see enough of him. Yep. He would be one in the back of my head without knowing who the traitors are that I would think would be a traitor.
Yeah, just kind of floating by.
Yeah, definitely floating by. I think I would say I would pick Dorinda because it's closer. The only thing that worries me about that is then you're down to two housewives. And at that point, if it was me, what I always say is like, hopefully, if I was in Candace's shoes, they would say, I bet it's one of the housewives, that are remaining, and they would send Lisa home. The problem is, then that's a complete sole target on you. And so I don't know if I would do that just yet, but I think Dorinda would be an easy one to be able to get to touch the brooch, in my opinion.
I'm changing my vote. I'm going Mark Ballas. He's a fashion forward guy. He might look at that and be like, you know what? What is that? I could see Mark trying to touch that thing too.
Yeah. Another guy, if I was a faithful, I would be a little worried because of how quiet, at least how quiet he's shown in the edit. I don't know. Being there could be totally different, but he's another one that'd be like, I would be keeping my eyes on him a little bit.
All right. Well, it could be Colton because Mama Hockey says she could just throw it at Colton, see if it sticks in him.
Yeah, y'all wonder where I get my anger problems from. She hates Colton.
Yeah.
All right. Let's answer this question from Kim. Seabass, I'll let you go first. I want to know what causes the fight and who. Alan said some most shocking episode in all the seasons.
Yeah.
And obviously what you've kind of heard a little bit from Candace is saying like, it's really good. Who do you think causes the fight? Who are the two people, if there had to just be two involved, the main two involved in your opinion?
Oh man, I think it's too easy to say Colton and Lisa Rinna because they had it last week. And if he's talking about it's the best one, but I still think I think it's got to be Colton. I think it's got to be. Everyone else seems to get along so well, and he's just a loudmouth. So I feel it's Colton. And then if the internet is right and what they've said, maybe Tara, but that sounds crazy. But I think it's got to be Colton.
Rob?
I'm going to say Colton, and I'm going to say Tara for these reasons. As somebody who would be in a house like that, I would be a little more introverted. But when somebody's pissing me off and you just get to that point where you're ready to unload, I could see Tara being like, enough of your shit. Like, I've had enough. We've got rid of Ron, and we should have got rid of you. And I think that could blow her. She could blow a gasket, and it could go off on Colton.
Well, I think it'll be fun. Any other predictions, Seabass, you got for tonight? Anything else?
I was gonna say those figure skaters, they can be feisty. So yeah, it could be. No, I got no other predictions. Again, I just want to see who gets murdered. I was a little disappointed no one took the shield, right?
Yeah.
So nobody got to get murdered. But so we'll go back to Colton again, who stood up there after that and said, "Listen, I'm taking every shield from here on out." Right? And I think the faithfuls to this point have not played a very good game in the sense that they're too buddy, chummy, and we're not going to take any shields. And like, who's the badasses who just be like, well, now it's Colton. Yeah. Too bad he's actually an ass on the show.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I think that throws a wrench into people's plans, but we'll see.
All right, Rob, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Well, one, you talked about the figure skaters. How can Johnny be so good at ice skating? Something I can't even do at all really well. And he can't do any of the challenges whatsoever. The poor guy, him stumbling and bumbling through the forest. I'm just like, how are you a figure skater? Because you are uncoordinated as all get out in the forest. But no, I think it's going to be fireworks. And I think, like Seabass just said, with Colton saying, I'm going to take the shield, I think Lisa really has to factor that in as well. Because I know she heard him say that. So you have to be thinking somebody will take a shield and it's going to be him. I would be trying to get him out. It may be on the nose, but enough people don't like him already. So it may not be too bad for her.
Well, one guy we didn't discuss is Yam Yam. And maybe he's
no reason
the approach.
There's no reason to discuss Yam Yam.
We'll see.
Jam.
But at the end of the day, Johnny, afraid of water, does he know that the ice is frozen? Watch.
That's what I was
saying.
All right, well, that's all we got. Thank you for Seabass for coming in, talking Traitors with us. We'll do this again next Thursday. If you want to join Seabass in a space tonight, he's going to try to do it after the show at some point. So just kind of stay tuned. If I'm awake, I'm going to hop on and I'll talk a little bit of fun with Seabass. Rob will definitely be there. Mark, we know that he'll be playing the blues with somebody. But if we can get Mark late night, you know it's a good night on Thursday night.
I'm gonna try and get Candace to do it. She's home, so let's see if she'll jump on too.
Even better. Even better. Great. Little surprise. All right, we'll see everybody tomorrow. See you then.